Good evening. We're going to continue with our lesson 18, unit 2, and we're going to investigate and use formulas for the perimeter of a rectangle. We have already explored area in the past lessons, and today we're going to do perimeter. And did you know there's different ways of solving for perimeter? There's some new formulas that we have to learn, so let's get started. All right, here's a soccer field for all my soccer players in our class. And in this problem, they want to know what is the perimeter around this soccer field. The perimeter is just going around the rectangle, not what's in the rectangle. What's in the rectangle is the area. The outer walls is the perimeter. Like if I wanted to put a fence around my house, I would need to know the perimeter. All right, so how do we solve for perimeter? Well, there's different formulas that we could use, and I'm going to show you one. P is equal to length plus width plus length plus width. And then we plug in the numbers for length and width. We know that 50 meters is on this side. So then we know that 50 meters is going to be on this side. If 100 meters is on this side, then we know down here will be 100 meters. So all we would need to do is plug them in. So if we did P is equal to 100 plus 50 plus 100 plus 50, we would get P is equal to 150 over here, plus another 150 over here, and we get P is equal to 300 meters. Again, now if you're looking at this, you're starting to make that nice funnel. But there's also another way that we could do this too. We can have a formula, same idea, and do P is equal to 2 times the length plus that width. Remember that distributive property that we have been working on throughout our multiplication and division. Here it is right here. That's a distributive property using the perimeter. And all we would have to do is plug it in. So here we go. Let's get started. P is equal to 2 times, what's the length? Well, let's put 100. The width is a 50. And then now we'll just distribute that too. P is equal to 2 times 100 plus 2 times 50. And what do we get? Well, let's continue. P is equal to 200 plus 2 times 50. That's another 100 over here. And we're going to get P is equal to 300 meters. There we go. 2 different formulas to solve for perimeter. In our next example of this rectangle, we have 4 units and 7 units on the other side. Again, if we have 4 units here, we're going to have 4 units down here. And if we have 7 units on the left, we're going to have 7 units to the right. So now we can just put a new formula in and do P is equal to length plus width plus length plus width, and then now just plug it in. We've got 7, and we have 4 plus 7 plus 4. Let's move it up. Oops, move it up a little. P is equal to 7 plus 4 is 11, plus 7 plus 4 is 11. We have P is equal to 22 units. There we go. There's our nice, well, sort of nice funnel. Then we can do another way, which would be P is equal to 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. Here's another type of example that we could use. And now we just plug it in. We could say P is equal to 2 times the length. Well, the length would be 7 times 2. You know what? Let me do this again over here. 2 times 7 plus the width would be 2 times 4 Then we have P is equal to 2 times 7 is 14, plus 2 times 8, excuse me, 2 times 4 is 8, and now we have P is equal to 22. Again, just another way of doing it. There's 3 different ways we could do it. We could do it when we're adding it up like this, separating it like that way, or we could just do P is equal to 2 times the length plus the width. Use that distributive property. P is equal to 2 times the length plus the width. P is equal to 2 times, that's 11, and then P is equal to 22. And we should really label units. So there's different ways in solving this. You're just going to have to choose the one that works best for you. Here's another example, 12 centimeters and 23 centimeters. We need to find the perimeter. Sometimes those 3 previous formulas, we would like to choose which one would work best for us. If we're struggling with bigger multiplication problems, we might want to do the one that we have to add. So let's try P is equal to length plus width plus length plus width, and then plug them in. So we've got 12 plus 23 plus 12 plus 23. And then we're going to get P is equal to 35 plus 35, and we're going to get P is equal to 70 centimeters. Now this would be a much quicker way because these numbers are very big. Let's say very big, but big. I mean, we could do multiplication, but you remember you're going to have to multiply bigger numbers. We could do the distributive property here. 2 times 23 plus 2 times 12. P is equal to 46 plus 24 to get P is equal to 70. So it does work to use the multiplication, but you got to feel confident with multiplying the bigger numbers, which I'm sure you would be able to do. But again, when you're solving perimeter, use the formula that works best for you. All right, here's one that's a little more trickier, because in this one they have given us the answer. They've given us the perimeter, 70 meters. So all around this side plus this side plus this side plus this side is going to give us 70 meters. We know that this side is 22. So if this side is 22, then this side is going to be 22. But we just don't know what these 2 missing sides would be. So let's start setting up our problem. So we're going to just start saying H is unknown. We don't know H. Let me just erase this. Okay, here we go. So we have H plus 22 plus H plus 22. Remember that H is just a variable. It stands for a missing number that we have to solve. Equals 70. So we've got to solve for these H's. So if we can group the ones that we know, we know that we have 22 plus 22. And 22 plus 22 is 44. So we have H plus 44. And this is all equal to 70. So how are we going to solve for H? Well, we got to solve for H. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these 2 numbers and I'm going to subtract it from the total. So when we do that, we're going to get 26. 26, but H does not equal 26, does it? No, because we have to split them up. We have one H here and another H. So that means how many H's? We have 2. So we are going to have to divide 26 divided by 2. 26 divided by 2, if you take 26 and cut it in half, we're going to get 13. So 13 meters is up here, and 13 meters is down here. And if we wanted to check it, let's do it. 13 plus 22 plus 13 plus 22. Let's see if this equals to 70. So you have 35 plus 35, and yep, that equals to 70. So the missing side is 13 meters. All right, our next example. We have a missing side, that's going to be C yards, and we have, no, the other side is going to be 17 yards, and they have given us the perimeter, which is 62 yards. So we got to find that missing side. So let's get started here. So we have 17 plus C yards, we don't know, plus another 17 because this side is 17 also, plus this C that we don't know because it matches that side, and it all equals to be 62. Well, let's start putting the numbers that we know. 17 plus 17 is 34, plus C is equal to 62. All right, so what we need to do is we need to take this number and subtract it. So 62 minus 34. So we got this, 2, and 12 minus 4 is 8. Okay, so we know that this side plus this side is going to give us 28. So we kind of have to cut it in half. And how we cut this in half is we divide by 2, because there's 2 sides. 28 divided by 2. And when we divide by 2, we're going to get 14. So now we can plug it in and test to see if we're right. 17 plus 14 plus 17 plus 14. We're plugging it in and seeing if it's going to equal to 62. So on this side, we've got 17 plus 14 is 31, plus another 31, which 31 plus 31 is 62. So we did it correctly. We have a match. In our next example, you see very large numbers. And just like I said before, you're going to want to choose the formula that works best for you when dealing with larger numbers, because you're not going to really want to multiply larger numbers unless you feel really confident in it. This problem wants you to find the perimeter. So for me, I think I'm going to use the perimeter where we add up all the sides. Again, work one the best for you. And we're going to plug it in. So we have 66 plus 105 plus 66 plus 105. And then we're going to add these up. When we add them up, P is equal to, well, we've got 105 plus 66. So we got 171 plus, again, 171. And when we do 171, and we add them up, we get 300. P is equal to 342 feet. How do you help someone who lost their Christmas spirit? I guess you're going to have to solve the next 2 problems in order to find the answer. 9 inches, 7 inches. Okay, you need to find the perimeter. Choose the best formula that works for you. And I want to see the work tomorrow. Bring it in, or you're going to get moved back on the game board. Okay, you need to solve for x. All right, so if we know all of this is equal to 40, the perimeter is 40, and we know one side is 8 inches, the other side is 8 inches, but we don't know what x is. So solve for x and bring in your work tomorrow. How do you help someone who lost their Christmas spirit? Nurse them back to elf. just like nurse them back to health. Very funny. Have a good night.